Morning all. The way that we look at fitness is wrong. Yeah, I'm just going to come out and say that. We're going to piss some people off today, big time. But I want to open some food for thought in that in modern society we have interwoven fitness and aesthetics. And I don't think we should. Let's dig more into that. Keyboard warriors, hands off the keyboards. I'll come back to you shortly. Aesthetics, and this is my personal opinion, is a byproduct of the way you train your fitness. Your fitness is not a byproduct of your aesthetics.
Oh my God!
So the modern perception of fitness, usually as it's marketed, looks something like this. Don't get me wrong, that looks good, but that doesn't necessarily mean that person is fit. Fitness is very hard to determine from looking at someone alone. There are indicators for sure. As defined by Oxford, is the condition of being physically fit and healthy. That's pretty bloody broad. But if we examine that, the condition of being physically fit and healthy, nowhere in that does it say that you have to look like X. Now, I am not ragging on training for a look, not at all. If you want to train to look like this, all power to you. That's great. That doesn't mean you are physically fit. Let me back up. All personal trainers or anyone who is involved in the health industry, when you first start doing your qualifications, there are 4 methods for training fitness, or 4 elements that you need to train. Strength, cardiovascular, flexibility, and balance. You know what, let's get really stereotypical. Let's just jump head first into the stereotype bucket. Men, particularly young men, tend to train for a look. They go and they lift heavy weights, they want to get big, they want to get jacked, they want to have muscles, and usually as a result of that, their cardio is shit. Or conversely, they tend to be athletes of the cardiovascular nature, so maybe triathletes or runners, and their cardiovascular is very, very good, but conversely the strength is a little bit lower. By and large, most young men have atrocious flexibility. Women, and again, jumping into the stereotype bucket, women who tend to train a little bit more holistically, women tend to do a little bit more things like gym classes, which have a more balanced and structured approach. Women tend to be more rounded, but still, most women don't have what you... The way that we train nowadays is quite interesting because you tend to be either strength or cardio. Let's break that up into a neat little picture. Cue the images. So we've got our 4 different quadrants here. Now, the way I like to phrase this is, fitness today tends to be specialists. So you are very good at one element of fitness. So you might be up in the strength quadrant. Often, the look that comes with this kind of strength training is marketed as being fit. Now here's where I'm going to draw some hate here. I beg to differ. Just because you have a lean and ripped look does not mean you are fit. Fitness means you are physically capable, which means you are able to do all quadrants of fitness. If you are just good at one aspect, be it cardio, be it strength. Cool, you are a specialist. You are very good at one element. You are, as a holistic fitness thing, not fit. I can already see people getting their fingers on the keyboards going, "Oh, what do you know, you retard?" Bear with me, because there's a really good example.
No, God!
It's changed. I am not a CrossFitter. Let me pre-cue all of that by saying I am not a CrossFitter. I do a lot of obstacle racing, I do a lot of triathlon. I do a lot of CrossFit type training. I train very similar to a lot of CrossFit, but I don't do CrossFit. CrossFit market themselves as being fit for anything. And you know what? In the last couple of years, they've really sold that. So the CrossFit Games is all about saying finding the fittest man and woman on earth. And when I first heard that, I went, bloody hell, that's arrogant. But the more you think about it, and I love watching the CrossFit Games, it's really true. Because they start having events like swimming, board paddling. Again, the heavy weight stuff is there, and being able to do handstand walking, climbing walls, obstacle racing, things that require balance. Because if you fall off said obstacles, you get penalized, and you might even have to do the whole obstacle again. The wonderful thing about it is that for most of these events, you don't know what's in it. These guys have to train for a multitude of different things like beach swimming without knowing that that's coming. And so therefore they have to train all aspects of fitness, and by definition, that is being physically fit. I think that I'm hating on the other styles. I'm really not. If you have a particular aesthetic that you want to go for, and you want to have that the lean, shredded, muscular look that comes from coming in and doing a really dedicated weights routine, that's fine. Aesthetics and fitness need to be separated. You can be exceptionally fit without fitting the modern stereotype of the aesthetically good-looking person. You can be aesthetically good-looking and have rubbish fitness as well. So the two are not mutually independent, but not as linked as you might think. The model I believe we should be training for encompasses all four quadrants. You may want to lean more heavily into one to suit what your training aspect is, but I think too much in today's society, we are focused on being a specialist at one. Now, obviously this is very general, and I'm being a little bit obtuse here to make my point. But if you sit in one camp, and I'm talking about a regular person here, if you're an Olympic athlete, then yes, you need to push more towards, if you're a weightlifter, head into that strength bucket, man. But you still need to have enough flexibility that you don't hurt yourself. As you get stronger, you need to have enough flexibility that your muscle literally doesn't tear itself apart, which can happen. If you're into the cardiovascular side of things, you still need to have enough strength to hold your body shape in an efficient way to do that cardiovascular. There are swings and roundabouts both ways. What stops most people from training in a holistic manner? It's hard. It's really hard because one or more of those quadrants, let's be honest, you're gonna suck at. You're not gonna be good at it because you don't train it, and because you don't train it, you're not good at it, you don't enjoy it. You know what I'm sick of hearing? Is I am not a natural X. Bullshit. No one is a natural X. Yeah? People, through different actions and different experiences in their life, might appear to be better at one of these quadrants because they've had practice through different actions and experiences in their life. The other one too is time. Most people think you've got to do like back and buys or leg day, and if you are a strength specialist, that is how you should train. If you want to be down the strength specialist path. If you do that though, to then include more cardiovascular means more time. I would argue that you can still achieve all your aims purely by being smarter about your training. So you need to sit down and plan out, and this is where having PTs and coaches, depending on what you want to achieve, this is why it's so important. Because you need to be time efficient and have a training program in place that holistically trains everything that you want to train in the most time efficient manner possible. And you can do that. You can be fit and strong, flexible, and have coordination / balance all at once, but it's really hard. What am I trying to get across? Let's separate aesthetic fitness, which I often term Instagram fitness, with functionality fitness. You want to train for a look? Cool. That's different to training for functionality. There are two different modes of fitness. One is for a look, one is for functionality. Yes, they do have related points, but not as much as we're led to believe. Have a think about what your training goals are. Are you training for fitness or are you training for a look?